Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Since we got our first depot designed and built, it became fairly simple just to copy that and build a couple more depots. So in addition to our iron ore depot, I also built a copper ore depot. So now the trains that were over here loading copper ore were able to get out of there and get parked. And in addition to that, I also made a iron plate depot for the trains. Well, actually, I had one train full of iron plate, and then when I created the depot, that one left the station, and the other two trains that I had there also filled up and left. So we're doing pretty good there. So we've got, and it was very satisfying to watch this get to work, making the plates and having the ore trains come in from the new mine and so on and so forth. So that was pretty cool. So now we have, and I added 3 more trains. Since I can handle 8 trains at a time in the ore mine for iron, you may recall I started with 5 trains. I created 3 new ones. These are the new ones. They haven't changed colors yet, but they will once they fill up and leave this station. So I figured I might as well take advantage of all the slots that I have available in my iron ore mine and get those going. So so the trains that I had waiting, once I filled up 2 more trains full of iron plate, that pulled some more ore, and that's why I've got 5 trains over here, 6 trains now filling up with ore. Okay, so there goes one more. And that'll go over and wait in the depot. Should fill in over here on this side. Yeah. It'll take the shortest path whenever possible, so that's why it fills from the inside out. Okay, awesome. So I thought what we could do today is build build copper smelting, and then we can build a copper depot. One thing I do want to check though, one thing I have to do is I have to figure out, I need to calculate how much of the smelting for iron plate and copper plate is going to go to green circuits, because my calculator gives me the total number of furnaces that I need for each. But in the case of iron plate, that total includes all the iron plate that I need for steel. And, like I mentioned before, I wanted to send ore to the circuit builds for green circuits and smelt those on site. That was something that I saw in Alexi J's base. And I asked him about it, and he said that the reason that he did that is that, he just realized that close to 50% of his plate production is going to be going to make green circuits. So he decided to do the smelting and then go directly into the circuits just to reduce the amount of train traffic, essentially. What he said is that the trains and transportation represent a big portion of the UPS hit. So by taking the ore to the green circuit build and then smelting there, and then belting the plates directly into the green circuit build, he's able to save on a lot of trains. Essentially, it reduces the amount of plate trains that you need by half. Now, some people have correctly pointed out that that plates take half as much space as ore does, because plates stack by hundreds instead of by 50s like the ore does. And of course that's absolutely correct, but if you're going to have to transport the same amount of ore no matter what we do, right? Whether that ore goes to a station making plates and then it goes out of the plates by train, all the ore has to be turned into plates. So by taking the ore directly to the circuit build, you are eliminating the trains that you need for the plates for the circuit build. So the plate trains are going to be reduced by half. Now, one thing we could do, I mean, if we wanted to be as efficient as possible, is we could mine the ore and turn it into plates next to the ore patch and not transport ore at all, only pick up plates. And in the case of his base, where he essentially created his own ore patches, which are pretty much bottomless, that probably would have been the best thing to do. Now, in my case, I'm going to be moving around to different ore patches throughout the game. So in that case, I think it makes more sense to have a static smelting area and move the ore so that you don't have to keep moving your smelting area as well as your mines. But if you're going to have a static mine, where you're using infinite ore, or you use creative mode to create an ore patch that has like 25 million ore under every single mining drill. In that case, you might consider just doing your smelting where your ore patch is, and that would cut down on traffic a lot. But in either case, I think collecting the ore and then moving the ore by train, as Alexi J did, is more realistic. It's more represented. I mean, even if you're creating your own ore patches because you don't like rebuilding them all the time, it's still more representative of what happens in a typical game, right? I might regret not having made bigger ore patches for coal and stone, because these are pretty dense, but they're not that big. Oh well. Anyway, let's get to work making copper smelting. We'll do the first one right here, I think. 1, 2. So I've got space reserved for 3 iron. And then we can do maybe 3 or 4 copper. Why don't I put the copper right here? Copper plate, that is. And then I can leave this one open in case I need more iron. I think 3 is probably going to be enough. That'll give me, I mean, I can make it taller. I can easily make it taller and probably get about 16 blue belts out of each of these grid sections without a lot of difficulty. And I think my calculator was telling me, let's see, for iron plate, it's telling me I need 118 belts. But again, probably about half of that is going to be going towards steel. Probably half of what's left over is going to be going towards green circuits. So that's 60, so about 30 belts. Yeah, 30 blue belts should be fine. For copper, it's telling me I need 61.4 blue belts of copper plate. But again, if we figure that half of it is going to be going towards green circuits, that's about 30. Yeah, so we'll probably need about 2 of these for copper. So I'll build on this one. No, I'll build on this one. I think it'll be fine. Let's build on that one first. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a blueprint of this. I'm going to make a blueprint of my iron setup. And I'm going to remove the train stations from it because I don't want it to immediately start requesting iron ore. Actually, I'll just delete the requester station from this blueprint. Or you know what? I can even leave the station. Okay, well, that'll be fine. I'll rebuild that part in a little bit. Okay, so there's my There's my ancient era. Now let's call it classical era. I've been playing a lot of Civilization 6 lately. So I'm going to call this my classical era iron or smelting design. Ancient era would be stone furnaces. So I'm using electric furnaces, but I'm still using yellow belts. We're not quite in the Renaissance yet. Okay, and then I'll zoom out. I'll take that blueprint and I'm going to put it down like that. Okay, and then the bots are going to start to get to work, but really, let me turn that off. I need to go get furnaces. I need furnaces, I need a lot more belts, I need probably a lot more inserters. I should have enough rail. Yeah, I got plenty of rail and signals. And then I'll set up some roboports to help me get the job done. And once I have iron plate, copper plate, and green circuits, I should be able to do red, green, and military science. So that'll be nice. Okay, let's grab the furnaces. Let's get more belts. And I think that should be enough to get things going. So I was thinking, because in this phase of the game, I've got, let's build from the middle out. In this stage of the game, I'm going to have, why is nothing happening? Oh. I'm going to have 8 yellow belts of iron and 8 yellow belts of copper. And we'll be able to upgrade these to red before too long. So I think my intermediate science production, I'm going to go for like 90 science packs a minute, you know, which would be double what I normally do in a starter base. Usually my starter bases are, let's get power brought over here, and then I'll set up some robots. Usually my starter base, I'm doing 45 science a minute. So this will be double that, which will be pretty quick. All right, so let's put down one roboport. I'll put some storage chests. I probably really only need one storage chest. All right, let's put some belts. We'll put furnaces. I'll put yellow inserters. Power poles. Lights. And we'll see how much we can get done. Oh, okay, let's put in rail. Let's put in some signals. We're going to need a few splitters. And I'll put down another roboport. Oh. Where are all my roboports? There they are. Okay, and then let's see if I can get another couple put down here to extend the range. I'll put one there. Put one there. Okay. And I'm probably going to have to go back. I'm probably going to have to go back and get more power poles. Oh, I can handcraft some. That's nice. I'll do that. Yeah, I at least want to get these RoboPorts powered up. There. Do they have power? Not yet. Okay, so as I'm handcrafting them, I'll just walk along the top here, and that should give me a string of power poles. Yeah, there we go. Now it's getting charged up. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to need a lot more yellow inserters as well. So let me go back, get more. I'll get more yellow inserters. I'll get more belts. Yep, we're out of belts. And I'll get more lights. I'm going to increase the limit on that. Okay, there's lights. And I need power poles. Okay, what else do we need? I think that's about it. Let's get even more belts. Okay, that should do. Yeah, so like I said, you know, by building one production cell of each of my plate commodities and so forth, I think I should be able to do 100 science a minute or so without too much difficulty. And then we can start expanding further. I think I'll just stick with 100 until I'm making all the science packs, so we can unlock all the other technologies that we need. And then at that point, we'll start to, branch out and sorry, I'm trying to work and talk at the same time. At that time, I'll start to expand the base. Okay, so that'll get most of this part done. I'm going to turn off my personal bots. Why is that? Oh, that was not placed well. There we go. Now we can build down here. Come on home, fellas. All right, I'm still missing 2 more bots. This looks like one. Yep, he's following me. That's one of mine. Another one of my bots is very slowly trying to catch up with me. But I don't know where he is. All right. Well, when these bots get done, hopefully I'll be able to find them on the map somewhere. Okay, those are arithmetic combinators. I'm going to need 2 of those. Okay, and I'll turn my personal robot port back on. I don't know what that's doing there. That doesn't belong there. Okay, and I'll put my requester station down. I'm going to change this to copper ore. Actually, I could change this to, I could change that first one to each, make it generic, and then this one does need to be specific. And why is this output going into the train counter? All right, so we're going to call this, what are we calling this? Unload. All right. All right, so this is copper ore 1, unload. I'm going to need a requester. And a priority schema. Okay, and I don't have a schema yet for copper, so I'm going to need to make one. So we'll call that copper ore 1, and that is going to be from the copper 1 depot. Okay, and then this is going to be the same. We're going to pull from copper 1, which is coming from the depot. And I don't remember where I set the P greater than M or whatever that is. Maybe I need power before I can do that. Does this really go there? No, that's supposed to go into here, not into that. Right? No. It is connected to the counter. And then this connects to the counter as well. No, that's not right. I think that has to be connected to the light, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't want to connect it to the counter. Oh, the counter connects to the requester. Right? Because I need to read that M signal. All right, and this is if M is less than geez. 1 minus copper ore. Yeah. It's if M is less than P. I think that's how it should be. This connects M is less than P. Yeah, I think in that case I had this connected here. That would be okay because then that signal would also go down the screen wire, but I think more correctly this output needs to connect to the requester, and this needs to connect to the requester so it can read the M signal. Okay. Those are iron chests. Yeah. All right, I'm going to use steel chests. Just because I'm making those. I wonder if my other bot has returned. Yes, I got my 30th bot back. Okay, and then this is saying that there's 5 trains on the way. But I know that's not the case because, oh, no path. Oh, yeah, okay. And I don't want 5 trains. All right, so I'm going to set these to manual. Because I don't want these to go yet. I think there was just some kind of strange starting condition that caused these all to want to go at the same time. I don't want them all to go yet, though. Okay, and then I need to wire up these chests. Okay. So I think this is wired up to work now. So let's go ahead and finish the path. And then we can start to load in the copper. Let's get rid of this garbage. And then once everything's ready, we'll activate the trains. And hopefully, and in fact, when I activate them, I think I'm just going to send them, I'll send them back to the mine, to the start of the schedule so that they go back to the depot, and hopefully they'll kind of reset themselves and not send 5 trains at a time. No. Okay, that looks good now. How are we doing over here? Okay, so smelting is nearly all built. Looks like we're missing a few power poles still. A few lights. Okay. And inserters. Really? Oh, I thought I had enough inserters. Actually, I think I can keep the one over here. Okay, so that's built. And we need more belts too. And I've got iron chests up here too. Well, I'm going to have to go back for more steel chests. Oh, no, I don't. I can make more. Chain stop shackles. Okay. All right. So we really do need more belts and more inserters. So let's go get that, and then it should be pretty much ready to go. I'll pick up all the RoboPorts since we don't need those anymore. And I'm planning to build steel in much the same way. I think long term I'm going to want to do direct insertion for the steel. Meaning I'm going to want to go from an iron furnace into a steel furnace. But I think for the beginning stages, I'll just build something like this, and then I'll have another row of furnaces up here that take in the iron ore as an input, you know, since I've got all this vertical space available. And then I'll have 8 lines of steel as well. And then we'll also be able to start building our central mall. You know, once I have plates and circuits and green circuits, we'll be able to make a lot of things. We'll need red circuits before we can completely build it, but you know, we'll need a refinery in order to do that. And it'll be nice having that mall where I can start making belts in massive quantities. I'll probably just start filling up full chests of them. And when I have the production capacity, I'm just going to, at some point, I'm just going to upgrade to blue belts, and I'm just going to use blue belts for everything. But I don't want to do that yet because they're expensive and I'm still running on fairly limited resources. Okay, I've got this goofy thing here. Okay, and then I think we want to call this is going to be copper plate load or something like that, right? Yeah. There. And then we'll need to build a copper plate depot. All right. Well, I think we're ready. I think we're ready to release the trains. All right, so what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to send it. I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to send it to, well, first let me copy that schedule, and then I'll send it to Copper One load. Right, and then they'll come back to the depot. And then hopefully they'll start to go to the smelting area. Okay, so it'll stop there. Already full. Hit the road. And then hopefully it'll work properly. Maybe I can build an exit on this side. Okay, here comes our first customer. Boop. All right. Yes, and it's only sending one train. And it'll probably send a second one right away. No. Okay, that's fine. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so this is outputting nothing. Okay, so maybe this does need to be specific. All right, well, it's still just rounding error, I think. 1 minus 0. Okay, yeah, and then here comes, it requested another one right away. It was brief because as soon as one was requested, then the number of requested trains is equal to 1. And at that point, trains on the way is not less than P, so it's like an instantaneous request, and that's how you just get one train at a time. And then as soon as I have more than a single train's worth available here, it'll stop requesting more until that level drops below 2,000. Okay. Let's stay in the plane. Okay, and the smelters are smelting. Ah, my inserters. Yeah, I was wondering why I wasn't getting a full belt of copper up here. Now it makes sense. Okay, now I'm getting full belts. Perfect. Any more? Okay, so I think that should all be complete now. Once I see 8 solid belts, then I'll know that everything is working. And I'm not missing any more inserters. Very nice. Missing a belt here. There we go. All right. Oh, I'm missing something up here too, I think. What am I missing up here? One chest. Okay. Now I should be good. All right. Okay, let's make our depot. And I guess we'll do that right here. Yeah. Iron plate depot, copper plate depot. Or maybe I should put it over here. I don't know. Where should I put it? Maybe it doesn't matter very much. I guess I'll put it here. Whoops. All right, let's see if I still have that in my blueprint book. Yes, I do. This is the depot blueprint. All right, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that goes just like that. Get rid of that extra signal. Grab some more rail, and we'll just build this one side at a time. Let's see how our ore is doing. Excellent. The ore is moving. The miners are mining. All right. So I feel like we're really making progress now. And then once the depot's built, I can create some trains to load the plates and go to the depot. And that'll be an exciting time. All right, so we want to rename this. Copper plate depot. I'm just going to remove the words depot there. I don't think that's necessary. All right, copper plate. All right, this is copper 1, so we do need a numerical identifier there. This will actually become 2, I think, when I do them, or I'll have to decide how I'm going to number them. Yeah, iron ore depot 1. I think maybe I'm only going to need 1 plate depot. But I think I am going to have multiple iron ore depots and copper ore depots. You know, learning from Alexi J's base, he had a depot just next to the green circuit production. So I think I'll do the same thing. You know, and just to make a comment, you know, because I've had a comment, at least one comment, maybe it was the only one, I can't remember any others, but somebody said, hey, why are you just copying somebody else's design? Well, number one, I'm not copying it precisely, but I am obviously drawing on his design as an influence. And number two, this is how I learn. You know, you can learn a lot by seeing what someone else has done that you admire, and then try to do that yourself. I mean, I'm a musician too. I play drums, and that's something I do all the time to improve my drumming. I hear somebody play something that's really cool, and then I try to learn how to play it. And you know, I don't try to exactly imitate somebody else's playing style, but by learning how to do something that somebody else has done, you pick up some new tricks, new ideas, new techniques, and then you incorporate that into your own style after you've mastered it. So that's what I'm trying to do here, and it's fun. All right, let's get rid of these trees. And then I think we just need to deploy a few trains for copper plates, and then we'll be done with this one. And then I think next time we'll work on steel. And then we can do, well, we need steel, and then and then we need stone brick. Oh, and then we need the circuits. Yeah, we need steel, stone brick, and circuits. And then I think when we have that, we'll be able to make red, green, and military science. And then we'll bust out our labs, and we'll start doing more research. And that'll be a very gratifying moment when that happens. Okay, all of our ore trains are waiting to get filled up. Okay, we might need to invest in another mine. Oh, and I've talked before about using console commands to eliminate biters permanently from the game. And I think I'm going to do that so that I can avoid having to rely on the Big Brother mod. Or not Big Brother, biters be gone. I'm not going to turn them back on. So I'll just go ahead and get them removed permanently, and then that'll be one less mod that I need to have running. I'm not going to bother adding more miners right now, since hopefully we'll be tearing this base up pretty soon. Yeah, trains. All right, so on iron plate, I think I am currently relying on 3 trains, so we'll do the same for copper. So let's get enough to do 3 trains. I'm going to need 12 locomotives, so that's 5, 10. There's 12, and I'm going to need 24 cargo wagons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put one back, and that's 24. And since I'm using the train painting mod, I don't have to worry about applying the colors right now. That'll happen automatically. All right, put those down first so they can start fueling right away. You can also use blueprints to copy trains. And there are also mods that'll automatically deploy trains. But for now, I'll just do it manually. Okay, so these are going to go to copper plate load until full, and then copper plate depot waiting for a circuit condition. Okay, so I'll copy that to the other 2 trains. They still need more fuel, but we don't need to wait for them to be completely full. They can come and get more when they need it. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, well, we're pretty much out of ore, which is fine. This one looks like it's getting more, but that's just because it started late because I had that missing belt. But eventually these should all be fairly well synchronized. Right, in other words, each of these columns will end up producing the same quantity. All right, and we're looking for 32,000 plates. think we should have enough to... I mean, I had... What did I have? I had five ore trains full to start with, so that should give us, so we should have at least enough to fill 2.5 trains of plates. Since the plates stack in hundreds, and I don't have any productivity bonuses yet, so 5 ore trains should give me 2.5 plate trains. And hopefully we should have another train or 2 of ore. Yeah, there's one. This one should be almost ready. Let's take a look at our power consumption. Looking good. Yeah, that one's almost ready too. Goes to the depot, and then immediately to be dispatched. Now, later on, when we want, we can change the conditions on these combinators to get it so that we have multiple trains waiting in the stacker. You know, we're not really using the stacker right now, but once we've got more bonuses and we can unload things faster and load the trains more quickly, then we might want to do that. So that we can get a non-stop flow of production. But right now, the mining, you know, with this much smelting, I think the mining is our bottleneck right now. This one's almost ready. I did some math in my head, and I think having 8 trains, right over here I've got 8 trains. That gives me 256 miners, right? 30 miners fill a yellow belt, so with 256, that's about 8 yellow belts, right? So with this setup, this should be enough to make this run continuously, right? Because this gives me enough output to fill 8 yellow belts. With copper, I won't be able to do it because I've only got 5 miners right now. I could probably fit another one here if I slide it down a little bit. That would give me 6, but really, I think, you know, to keep this running continuously, I would need another copper mine somewhere. So maybe that's something I can do in my off hours. You know, start to tap into these copper mines over here. Oh, maybe this one here. That one's huge. I'll set up another copper mine so that we have at least 8 trains mining copper so that we can keep this fed. All right, but this one is about 3/4 of the way full. It'll hold 32,000 plates once it's full. All right, so I think we're pretty much in business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some calculations so I can figure out exactly, well, the thing is I don't know how many slots I need because I haven't because it's the end game that I need to calculate for. And I haven't done my end game design yet, so I don't know how many furnaces and with beacons and modules and everything I can fit in one of these. So I think I'm going to have to be somewhat flexible, at least for a while. So I'll just count, or maybe what I can do, maybe I can look at Alexi J's base and just divide it by 2. Because I want to put my steel somewhere. And I'm not sure where to put the steel. I'd like to try to keep things together as much as possible. I know I'm going to need a lot of steel. All right, I want to have circuits over here, let's say. So if I got iron, copper, and circuits, then maybe I put steel here or here in between these depots. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll have to figure out where to put steel production. Maybe for now I'll just reserve all of this for iron plate, copper plate, and green circuit production. And then I'll build steel farther north somewhere. All right, so I'll contemplate that before the next one. Let's look at our task list. Okay, so that depot's done. So now we need steel production. We need stone brick. What else do we need for military science? I already have coal. Yeah, so that's it. I need steel and I need stone brick. And then we can start to build science packs. Right. Actually, let's see what their actual names are. Automation science and logistics science. Whoops. Jeez. All right, so automation science packs. Logistics science packs. And military science packs. The lab area. And then after that, I'll build a refinery. And then we'll do chemical science packs. Okay, and that'll keep us pretty busy for a while. And I think on the labs, I think we should start using productivity modules on the labs. Right, so I'll start right now making a chest full of productivity modules. In fact, maybe I had this thing making speed modules. Maybe I'll just convert this over to productivity. Let's do that. Let's change the recipe. Productivity modules. And we'll do, I don't know, we'll make 500 of them. All right, so then we'll have a chest with a bunch of modules that we can use. And let me take a few of these and load them in there just to help things along. Okay, awesome. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.